Hi, what's up? I'm doing movie review now and book review too. Uh, yeah, I read two books this month. Those two books are The Fault in Our Stars, which it has a movie too. I watched the movie too, and Everything, which has a movie too. So both have a movie, and I watched both movies, and I can say one was good, one was okay. Yeah, they're both romance novels. So this is a first for me, cause I don't really read that much romance at all, and I was like, why not try romance? Maybe reading romance books will make me like a little bit more romantic and less emotionless. Hopefully it worked, but haven't tried it. Anyways, I felt like it was a fun reading romance, cause with romance they're kind of really make you feel something. They really try to make you feel something. An emotion attachment to the characters, to the whole book pretty much. And I kinda love that feeling. It gives you the feeling of being loved. And maybe having a fairy tale love story where you run into someone in the bench and like fall in love out of nowhere. That too. Anyways, first book I'm gonna review is The Fault in Our Stars, which is obviously a romance slash drama. The summary is a girl, she's 16 years old, her name is Hazel Grace. She, since a young age, she's been diagnosed with cancer, and her cancer is like a lung cancer, a certain type of lung cancer where she can't breathe properly. She needs to use equipment to be able to breathe. Plot of the story is she goes to support groups for her cancer with other cancer patients, and she hates going to these support groups. But one day she goes to a support group, sees a random dude that's never been there before. The new patient just stares at her, and she's like, what? He's kind of weird for staring at me. This new patient's name was Augustus Waters, and that's where they meet. Augustus Waters starts talking to Hazel. Then after that, it was they had chemistry. Hazel Grace didn't want to be in a relationship, while Augustus Waters was pursuing one with her. But Hazel Grace's conflict was she didn't want a relationship because she didn't want to break his heart, because any day she could die. So she chose not to really pursue it as much as Augustus Waters did. And throughout the story, the thing that bonded them the most was that they read Hazel Grace's favorite book. Really know, because Hazel Grace told Augustus Waters that Augustus Waters should read her favorite book, and he does. And then they have a bond connection. They're like, "Oh, this book is great." Then that's where the story went uphill, and they're like saying how good the book was. They're discussing, and they're like, "We should meet the author." And she was like, "Yes." That's where the story rises to the conflict point. Yeah, after that, I can't say no more because I don't want to spoil the book. You just have to read it. It's a very good romantic book. It really gets you emotionalized, and it's kind of very sad, really. Oh, I forgot to say, this book was written by John Green. The legendary John Green. The John Green that taught you in high school. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, incredible what he wrote. I didn't know he can write a book this good. I thought he was just like a guy that teaches history. The movie, I say the movie's a really good watch. It keeps the same emotion as the book, and I think it really does make you tear up. I cried a little at the end, and the movie keeps it very true to the book. It's really true to the book. You should watch the movie and the book. I rate this book, me personally, I think for romance, it's a 10 out of 10. And for story, I'll give it an 8. It gets boring some parts, but it may get boring, but they're part of the story, and every chapter I think is important. Anyways, second book. Everything. Which I got this book in Walmart. I just walked in Walmart and was like, what book can I get? And then the first book I saw was like, Everything. That sounds kind of cool, and the cover art was kind of really cool. They say don't judge a book by its cover, and I judged a book by its cover. And plus it was on the cheap side, so I'll take it. I think the book is really good. Like, it has drawings explaining the story with the book, and the chapters are really short. And I think it's one of the shorter books. It still has like 300 pages, but it feels like 150 or 100 pages really. It's like a journal entry more than anything. You're just reading little journals of the main character and explain the story with the drawings. Summary of the book. Main character's name is Madeline. The dilemma is in the beginning of the story, she has a rare disease, SCID, where her immune system's weak, so she's not allowed to go outside at all, or else she will die. So she has to stay inside for 24/7. But that changes once, you know how every romance book goes. A boy next door moves in. Boy next door's name is Ollie. Love at first sight. Madeline just looked outside the window watching him get out, and she was like, oh my god, he's so cute. They just looked at each other. Love at first sight. Then it turned out kind of weird that Ollie's room was right next to Madeline's room. So, coincidence? I don't know. Yeah, and then they just start waving at each other, talking to each other. But throughout the story, Madeline kind of stalks Ollie. Bruh. The conflict is Madeline wants to meet Ollie in person. She, as her maid, was like, can you please bring Ollie? Or she talked to Ollie, and she'll like fall in love with him. Then Ollie has some issues at home. Then she tries to understand that. Kind of like the base of the story. She meets a boy. She's really interested. She wants to see him. Her maid lets her see the boy. The boy falls in love with Madeline. Madeline falls in love with him. And they have conflict because they can't see each other as much. And then that's where she starts to rebel. Then that leads to the conflict of the story, or the climax, where there's like a big wow, I didn't know that was gonna happen. Overall, it's a really good romance book. I say The Fault in Our Stars was more detailed when it came to loving in detail. Everything is kind of more like a basic one, but it kept it interesting. The writer kept it different from other books. One shorter than the other. They both do the same goal. They make you feel like you want to be in a relationship, and indie type movies where they're like, oh, I fall in love out of nowhere, oh my gosh, like that type of thing. I really found cool was in everything they mentioned The Little Prince a lot, and this is my favorite book of all time. When growing up, The Little Prince was my favorite book. So I give everything a 10 out of 10 for including my favorite child book. Now, for real though, everything, I give it an 8 out of 10. Because it had that factor where it wanted me to keep reading. So I thought if a book makes me want to do that, then I think it's a pretty good read. Not so much the movie though. Don't watch the movie. The movie's kind of terrible. And the movie doesn't contain the same emotion as the book. And I kind of hate that. I was watching the movie, then I was like suffering. I just warn you all that. You can watch it if you want. But I think also that you have a little playlist in the back. The playlist has like Radiohead and other like old songs. And I was like, wow, the author understands. I suggest you should listen to the playlist. The playlist is pretty good. It goes pretty good with the book. So yeah. A friend suggested to watch My Cousin Vinny, and I did, and I loved it. And I thought it was really funny. I highly suggest it to watch it. I don't want to explain the movie. I just say watch it because it's a must watch. It's really funny. I watch all the Edgar Wright movies. He makes my favorite movies. He's such a good director. He made Baby Driver. He made Last Night in Soho, one of my favorite movies. He made Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. And yeah, every movie he makes is so good. Shout out Edgar Wright. Shout out Nacho Libre. I rewatched that movie. It's pretty good. Last time I remember, I watched it as a teenager. Then I didn't know how great it was. Then I was like, damn, Jack Black is so funny. I don't know if I should do both together, but I think it's a good idea because I love watching movies, then I love reading books, and both will be interesting to do, like together. That was July's book review / movie review, and thank you so much for watching, and shout out to everyone. You guys are cool. Bye bye.